Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. It's Kate Richberg, and it is Free Tip Friday here on beadshop.com. I'm a little calmer, I think, than I was yesterday, to be honest. It was a little crazy around here yesterday. But today, a little bit better. We got a lot of work done yesterday. The fulfillment is coming along really well. So things are good. Things are good over here. Our I've been tracking our shipment, like crazy. I have updates coming on my phone, though my hair is looking super crazy. Let me just kind of do that. There we go. Maybe that's better. I don't know. So our all of our inventory, it's somewhere in Nevada. So it's just like over the border, right? So it's scheduled to be here on Monday. So when it comes on Monday, I'm going to go live, I think, depending on what the story is. I will update you and let you know. But yeah, it's in Nevada. So I'm, tracking it like a crazy person. So yes, so we're good. We're good. We're good. I'm here. You all are here. Thank you so much for joining me. We're broadcasting on a whole bunch of channels, the Bead Shop channels, the Kate Richberg channels. Big hi hello to all of you over at the Great Bead Extravaganza channel. There are my glasses. But before we move on, let me do my due diligence and say welcome, and don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and notification button over on YouTube so you won't miss a beat of what we do over here. We're inching up to that 100,000 viewers. I really want to hit it, so help me out. Hit that subscribe. If you're a regular viewer and you don't have that subscribe button hit, do me a solid and hit that button. Also, hit us up on Facebook at our wonderful Facebook group, The Bead Table. So much stuff going on there. Our Instagram, our Pinterest, lots of ideas, great stuff over there as well. And if you do anything with our projects or our products, give us a shout out on social at beadshop.com. If you have questions, we're just on the other side of the computer at info@beadshop.com. Okay, speaking of our Facebook group, Emily just, let me take this down. Let me put my glasses on so I can see you. Emily, right before we went on, Emily posted with the Esplanade mix. This is mine that she sent me right here. So, but our Esplanade mix is right here, the one that we launched this morning. Let me go ahead and solo that up, and so you can see it real well. This is a mix that Janice put together. You folks are loving that check, the aged check mixes. We love them too, for sure. And this is the one way back, the Stinson Beach one that Emily did on her broadcast. Well, Janice made a fresh one because, there's no duplicating this one, but Janice made a new one for you, and it's called Esplanade. Perfect for all of this bead crochet that we're in love with. And let me dump a little bit out and then I'll show you. Emily just posted it on the bead table. She's doing some bead crochet with this Esplanade mix. Isn't it gorgeous? And she sent over a photo, and I want to share this photo with you. You can also see it over on the bead table. But look at that. There's Esplanade, and there's Emily's bead crochet with it already. Look at just the really beautiful, vivid colors. I just love it. So, thanks so much for sharing that over. You can see the Esplanade is right here. I also love how the Esplanade mix really goes beautifully with that Hello Fall kit that we did, right? This is the Stinson Beach. This is the one Emily made with the Stinson Beach, but This is that new one that we just put out this morning. And by uh, if the orders are any indication, you folks are loving it. So thank you so much. I love how it also kind of mimics the colors in Hello Fall. You can see it does have a stripe in there. We love our stripe beads here in the check. So this is a check A-dot. Thank you, Katie Hacker. Katie Hacker's here with us saying hello and working busily behind the scenes. I'll mention again to you folks, we have over 900 tutorials over on our YouTube channel. And this will be yet another one that joins them over there. So don't forget to go over and find all of those great tutorials where we have a lot of fun that's going to be happening in there. There is a dark teal, Emily, that's in the Stinson Beach. It's kind of, in this Esplanade. Let me see if I can pull a couple out here so you can see them. They're kind of hard to see, but it's a dark teal A-dot that we just love. So it's just a beautiful mix of really cool beads. Some shiny, some matte. It's great. So I wanted to show you some ideas with this mix. Not only this mix, right, my friends, but some other pieces that you may have in your stash that you may want to use to replicate. But it's a whole lot of fun. And Terry, that's a great question. The individual colors are not always available a la carte, especially with these check mixes, because we don't carry a lot of these size 8 check. We do some in our age check section, though Janice is saying here, we may be able to carry some of these as individuals. So stay tuned, right? We're going to have a little more elasticity now to, move things around and stuff like that now that all of this product is coming home. So so stay tuned. We'll do our best for you. I know this bangle, Emily sent me some really darling pens that I just love. I should have brought them on air to show you. And my mom gifted me a really cool little tiny notebook that she made me. And the pens and the notebook don't go together perfectly. But also in that package was one of the Stinson Beach bangles. And look, it just fits perfectly. Right? So let me show you a few more of the bangles and things that I've got here. And then I've got 2 things I'm working on that I want to show you. Okay. So if you'll remember, we've done a lot with our 6/aughts. So I thought I'd do a little walk down memory lane where some of these 8/aughts here and 6/aughts would really look great together. This is with that 6/aught. I think it was a mix I used. I can't remember. We had these new clasps, so much has happened between then and now. I'm like, I don't even know what it is. But it's that boho bangle treatment that I did here, right? Speaking of boho bangle, here's a boho bangle with some of that age check mix that I did. This mix would look great with a boho bangle. Here's another boho bangle I did in the purples. So many of you have made these boho bangles. It makes me so super happy to see that. They're great sellers at holiday markets and stuff like that. So if you haven't, check out the boho bangle broadcast. Super easy. The 5mm leather. You can use 8 or 6/aughts. Wind them around, do a little bit of wrapping with leather, do a little silk wrapping, and you are good to go. I love this bracelet too. I love to stack them. This is an old school crochet bangle that I did a billion years ago with some different sizes just to show you that it can be done with different sizes, some shadows in there, some 8/0s, some metal seed beads, some 3mm fire polish. Super fun. I'm going to stack this up. It's a kind of a fun one to go with Emily's bangle, right? Then this is one that I did. This is a crochet bangle with all 6/0s. Really a fun one there as well. And if you were watching a while back, I did this on the Great Bead Extravaganza, and I need to do this one again. This has the feeling of bead crochet, but it's peyote stitch. This is with 11s. I started to do some peyote stitch with this Esplanade that I'm going to show you here, and I'll talk a little bit about this. And then I pulled one of these, and we were playing around with these beads that have the large holes with the roller beads, these great bullet clasps, and the macrame. I just thought that it added just a really great look to all of this stack that we've got going on here. And this, my friend, is so simple to do, right? What did I use? I used at the end, you can see it's this bullet clasp. And what I did was, I think this is 2mm leather, and I think this is 0.5 or 1 maybe that I macrameed over the top. I put it through this roller bead, and it was all glued into this bullet clasp. Go around, go around, go around. And you know what I did? I started actually here in the center is what I did. I put these guys on, then I started from here and from here. I went all the way down, and then these, all 3 of these cords are glued into the bullet clasp. So it's a really fun one. And look at how great. I'm going to take this one off. I'm going to take my watch off so it doesn't distract. And I want to put this on with this one of Emily's. And look at that stack. Isn't that fun? I also have over here, remember when Drea, when we did all of that those new, our gem duos and that new leather color that we had? Look, that's one that Drea did. Look at this stack. How delicious. This is that 1mm, I think, that we have with the gem duos. And this is a doubled strand of the memory wire. Drea did some other ones that I think would look really cool. With this, she did this one with the gem duos. Don't forget, my friends, the gem duos. They are so delicious. Let me get one in another color here. She did this blue in this larger one. Look at how great. Look at how good this wrist stack is stacking up, right? Yeah, it's the smooth barrel. Thanks, Janice. I know we don't call it a bullet clasp. We call it a smooth barrel. I think this is the 5mm. I think this is the biggest one, to be honest. But see, this blue, this all picks up this blue underneath. This green picks up some of the stuff in the Stinson Beach. This Esplanade would look just as juicy with this kind of thing. So, jump in, right? Jump in for us. Jump in with these and look at how great it looks with Hello Fall, right? So they're all really fun to kind of play around with. You can stack and unstack and restack. Here's another one. The memory wire that Drea did, I think really, it was those 3 colors. It was the pink, it was this light blue, and then the dark blue. It was a whole series of these. Really, really great. Fun pieces. Very, very fast. Great for holiday markets. But look at how beautiful it goes with Emily's original Stinson Beach or our new Esplanade. Sorry, there's a lot of gleam, a lot of reflection on there, right? And yes, Janice, you and Danielle Wicks are cooking up some really fun items, some really fun projects with the Gem Duo and Super Duo cuff. I can't wait to see that. But yeah, isn't it? Thanks, Gerald. It is a yummy stack. I am in agreement there. So let me show you what I'm making with this new one. Let me put my wrist there for just a second more. If you do want a screenshot, do it. And then I'm going to turn it so you can see the back. That barrel clasp is on there. And Jackie, thank you. That barrel clasp, I will tell you, it is super strong, 100%. It really gives you a lot of confidence when you're wearing that for sure. So you can see, let me pull this off. I mean, there we go. I mean, it's a good one. So let's take all of these off here and let's get to some of the things that I'm sharing with you today on this Friday. It's going to be one of the last. It's the calm before the storm. Oh my goodness. This weekend, my buddy Beth, a big shout out to JoJo yesterday. Thank you so much, my friend, for coming and helping and building so many shelves yesterday. I super appreciate. My buddy Beth is coming this weekend to help me get some things all set here in the studio. And then Christine shows up, the big guns show up on Tuesday. And Miranda's back on Monday as well. So, it literally takes a village to get us up and running here. But our hope is that we're going to be shipping per usual by next week, by late next week. So I really appreciate all of you all being so patient with us during this transition and with this move. While I have a second, while I'm thinking of it, I do want to mention to you, Drea and I have been cooking up a lot of really fun things over this weekend. Do not forget to consult your newsletters because we're kicking it off with a bang for sure. So, check the newsletters. Starting tomorrow, there's going to be some good info, some great sales in there for you. So do not miss it. And yes, I am getting a cheese board today. Janice sent it for my birthday. Fig and Honey is a small woman-owned charcuterie and wine bar here in Fresno. So I spoke to them. So yeah, it's coming around 3:00. So I know what I'm doing early, starting at 3. Okay, let me show you what I've got here. I still have, and it's also Emily's fault, beaded beads on the brain. I wanted to show you this. I am almost done. I'm so close to being done with the beaded bead that I shared with you folks a while back. You can see I've added some long magatamas there. I'm so close to it being done. I think it's really going to look terrific. I think I'm going to add it. Remember, we had those Pompeii beads. I think I may add it in with those Pompeii beads. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. But that's going to be really fun. I'm really excited for that. Then, let me turn the light here. It feels a little dark. Is that better? Let me also get a little more. That's a little bit better, I think. So beaded bead has been on my mind. So with the beaded beads, I use the 25 millimeter wood bead that we have, right? And I started to do a beaded bead with the Esplanade. And look at how gorgeous it looks. I'm going to tell you some of the secrets that I did to this, since it's all one size. This beaded bead is freeform. This beaded bead is just the regular, right? But I want to show you how I reduce with it. And then I also started, I honestly thought about bead crocheting, and then I pulled myself together and I said, what am I thinking? And so instead I started doing some round peyote stitch over this leather. Okay, so it has kind of a similar look to it, right? And I'll tell you the details about this one too. Okay. Does it feel, I'm going to move the lights a little bit more. I feel like the shadow is kind of making me a little bit crazy. Maybe that's, I don't know, maybe that's better. Anyways, let me move this one up. You folks can take a look at those. I'm going to move my other light just real quick because I'm feeling like it's dark. It also may be the white background, which I think I'll trade that out too. The camera may be compensating for that. So let me change that up. I think that is actually a bit better. I've got to have something to obsess on, folks, right? Got to have something. All right, here we go. Maybe that's good. Okay, even though this brown kind of blends in. Let's talk about this bead first. Okay, this bead. Let me get these guys over here. All of these from the bead. There we go. All right. So what I did was, just as a reminder, just like I did with this freeform bead, I wrapped some spokes around this 25 millimeter bead. Okay. And the spokes I wrapped around just like that. And that's what holds my initial round on the bead. Okay. And I strung up, I didn't even really count, to be honest. I just strung my beads. I put my needle kind of around the spoke a couple of times, and I just started to string beads between this spoke and that spoke. So it was kind of tight enough, right? Wrapped it around, strung beads between this spoke and that spoke, and continued on until I had an equator around this bead. Okay? Like that. Then I just started peyote stitching, right? Add a bead, skip a bead, go through a bead. And the first row that I peyote stitched was rocky. Okay. But I knew that it fit. So I knew that after 1 or 2 rows, it would right itself. And it sure did. So let it just be, right? Go through, peyote stitch it. It'll be fine. Now, as I'm coming down, the bead, right, like a little globe is like a sphere is, getting smaller and so you have to reduce the circumference of the beads that you're putting on. Okay, so let me just show you how I do that. And you don't have to think about it too much. And this is where the spokes kind of come in handy. You can see I've got 5 there, and it helps me to reduce. So I did about 4 rows, right, that were all kind of the same. And then, like once every other spoke, I just kind of skipped a bead, right, and kind of pulled it tightly so that it started to cinch in my row. So let me show you what I mean by that. So here I am. I'm ready to peyote stitch right here. Let me pull out a few of these beads. And I'm going to pick up a bead right here. I'm going to skip this bead. I'm going to go through this bead. Okay. Now I'm going to pick up a bead. Doesn't matter. I'm not paying any attention. Skip a bead, go through a bead. Now, take a look at right here. Can you see that? Let me zoom in. You can kind of see this bead and this bead. This is where I skipped and pulled them tight, right? Like a regular peyote stitch, you would just have 1, 2, 3. Here I have the thread coming out. There's the second bead, there's the third bead, and there's actually the fourth bead there, right? So I'm just going to put on a bead. I'm going to skip like those 2 beads. See how big that space is there? I'm going to go through that bead over there, and then I'm just going to kind of pull it tight. You're constantly kind of pushing this bead back up too. So see how that just kind of reduces it right there. All right. Now I've got another one of those little reductions right here. So let me put on a bead. I'm going to go through this bead, and I'm not even going to put a bead on this time. I'm going to go back over here, and I'm just going to go through these. And there is, what I do is I look at this side of the bead as well, and I see if this is cinching up. All right. And it is. There aren't any really big spaces here. So in every spoke section, I skip about 1, sometimes 2. Like, see, here's a really big wide section. I'm going to try and pull that in. Here's another wide section here. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to just use a bead to pull that tightly together. See there? There we go. So we'll just keep going here. And the slope, the grade is pretty, it starts to get pretty pronounced here. I'm just going to kind of do a regular row to kind of write everything a bit, right? You can see where I've skipped some things there. So I'm just going to put a bead in and go around, and then I'll check it. I have no idea anymore where my starting point is on this, and it honestly doesn't matter. As soon as you feel, keep checking around here. And as soon as it gets loosey-goosey, you can, you'll want to reduce a little bit more. Deb, that's a great question. I thought about using, let me put that question up on the thing. And let me zoom out a little bit. We're a little close right here. I could use some 11-aughts, right? I could make kind of like a mix that kind of looks like this, or I thought about just using 11-aughts and having that center be multicolored and having the 11-aughts go down. I could go to 11s and then I could go to 15s. But I wanted this whole thing to be the 8-aughts, so that's why I'm reducing, right? Either way works. Like, see, here's like a big space right there. There's a big space, but I'm just going to put 1 bead there, pull it through, and see, it closes everything up. Did you see how that just kind of cinched? Yeah, the stripe beads are also check. Joy, they're really just luscious. Let me do one more of these for you, one more row. I'm getting short on thread, so it's a perfect time to show you how to change your thread out. I know that we will do everything in our power not to switch thread over, but this is about all I want to do with this thread. It's pretty short, actually. So I'm going to put this down. Let me get a fresh piece of thread and a fresh needle. And I'm going to weave my new thread on and my old thread off. Where? Oh, where? Here we go. My thread snips. And I'm using Fireline here. You can use anything you like, right? You can use Fireline, you can use KO, whatever works for you, okay? All right, and I need a needle. I'm using a size 10 needle here, right? But use a 10 or a 12, whatever you want. let me thread this size 10 needle. This is fire line, so I'm going to run my thumb down it to flatten it. I'm going to put it right under my thumbnail, and I'm going to needle the thread. I'm going to put the eye of the needle down on the top of the thread. Okay, so that's ready. So now I'm going to come in and I'm going to weave. See where this thread is coming out? I'm going to weave my thread in so it comes out that same, and just start wherever, right? So there's that. We don't want this to fall off. It wants to slide. So you kind of have to hold all of your peyote stitch on to make sure it stays. I'm going to turn around, make a kind of a 180, lock that thread in, go 360 here. And I'm looking to see where this needs to come out. Tighten it up, even that out. So see, my thread is coming out here. So I have to make my way over there. This is the 25 millimeter round. It's the large one we have. Whatever the one is that we have on Bead Shop. So I'm going to go here, here, and out that bead where that thread is coming. Okay. Now I'm going to take this short piece of thread that I should have stopped working with a little while ago, but it's hard to stop. I'm going to slide this needle down just a little. Hopefully it won't fall off the thread. And I'm going to make like a U-turn and go through that bead up there. There we go. I'm going to make another zigzag U-turn there. Like that. And back. Just go through one bead at a time if you need to. You don't want to really push your needle in there, especially if it's a 10, because God forbid, you don't want to crack a bead. There we go. Here's this one. Come on. There we go. And I think that's good enough. I'm going to come in and I'm going to snip that away. Okay, done. Now, let me get this other tail, because it's also woven in under tension, and clip it. Okay. So I'll put that needle aside and I'll pick this needle back up. Okay. And then, whoops, we'll just keep going. But look at how beautiful this looks pebbled. So I'm going to go through, need to step down there. Peyote stitch really is my jam. You know, Emily is so good at teaching us so many great stitches, but peyote stitch is the one that I can do with the least amount of effort and calculation on my part. All right, so here we go. I'm going to tighten it. And I can see how I'm getting a little loose right there? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm not going to put a bead here. I'm going to skip that space. And that's going to tighten. Then I'll put a bead on and complete that next peyote stitch. And just by skipping that one, see, it's tightened that down now. I feel like I need a little more tightening over here. So let me put one on. Let me go over here. Put one on. Go over here. I'm going to skip putting a bead on here and go through that one. And I'm just doing this by feel. You know, I kind of have a feel for it, so I'm just going to kind of where I feel like I need to skip it, I'll skip it. So see there? Now you can see here on that edge, it's tighter, right? But look at how it's just gorgeous. I don't want to put it down and show you the other one, but I have to. I have to. So let me just do a couple more here. And then you just keep going like we did on this other bead here, right? We just keep going this one right there, right? Margaret, thanks. That's very nice of you to say. I think that I can teach the peyote stitch so easily is because it really is a stitch that I don't have to stop and think about. Sometimes, honestly, with other seed bead stitches, especially when I have to like follow the pattern or follow, you know, like a really prescribed pattern so I don't fall out of sync with it or whatever, sometimes I get a little messed up. Look at that blue. It just looks like a lapis piece, right? Just gorgeous. Penny, I agree. Those bracelets that Drea made are so nice. You know, I love it when Drea busts out a project. We'll be getting some more projects from her. But I love it when she busts out a project because they're always so well executed and really great colorways and stuff. So see here, there's two that I skipped where I skipped last time. So I'll just put one, bring it in. That looks like a good place to skip. So I'll go through, put one of those delicious teal there. And there's two kinds of stripes in this. There's a light yellow and then kind of a dark brown stripe. But see how this is really kind of coming together. It kind of looks like pebbles and stones, and I love it. I just love it. When I was little, my gran and I used to, when we would go, I'm going to do just a couple more, then I'll show you this other one. When I was little, we would go and hunt rocks because we loved rocks. And we had this, I don't know, this pebble song that we'd sing because, you know, because we could. So this kind of reminds me, it's a beautiful day for stones or something. I don't know what we used to sing, but it was it was fun times. And we would find like agate stones and stuff like that. I think I want to, this is 3. 1, 2, 3. I think I'm going to make the jump all the way there to the 4th. Right? But yeah, I found Gran's little rock hound hammer. I still have it. Here we'd go and we'd tap little rocks out of the dirt stuff. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. You want to hang on to this bead because now that we're really getting that slope, right? I need to kind of pull back on this so it stays tight because this will want to slide forward. So try and keep it from sliding forward if you can. Let me just add a few more here so you folks can see it. And if it slides around, just write it, right? This looks like where I might want to skip, so I'm going to skip right there, tighten it in, put on this one. I'm going to skip right here. I'll put on this one. As you get closer and closer, you're going to want to skip more. I think I'll put one on there. And then maybe I'll skip this one. There we go. See, and it's a little, see again, a little loose. So when I come around on this side, I need to cinch. I need to not put a bead on. So let me go there. Let me go, I think I'm going to skip. And skip. And put a bead right there. That's a pretty big space. Check the tension. That's looking pretty good. So I think I can put a bead on right here. And I'm going to skip that one and go through that one. Come on. I'm the boss here. Get through there. There we go. I think I need one more right there. This has a whole bunch, so there's a pretty big space there. So I'm going to go right here. There we go. I'm going to go skip all of those. Put right here. Oh, and I got to plug in my computer. Hang on, I just got a warning. Let me put this down. Let me plug that in. You can take a look. And this is all of the A-dots. And you can see that it works up pretty easily. It's like, when you're knitting a hat and you're reducing the top of the hat, right? And all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, this is going so fast. Same thing. Same thing with this. There we go. Plugged in. Just in the nick of time. Playing Power Chicken with my with the battery on my computer. Okay. So yeah, I'm invested in this now, so let's just keep at it. Hopefully you are invested in this too. Put one of these. And I just kind of am going towards the ones that are sticking up, right? Center that. Find your center. Let's see. I'll stitch through all of these. One over here. And I'm going to go to this one that's sticking up. Over here. It could use one, I guess. Right there. There's a pretty big hole right there, so let me put a bead in. Whoops, ouch. It's a little off center, so let me keep centering it. I'm going to go through there. I'm going to go through all of these, I think. These little turquoise ones are so pretty. Come on, there we go. Just keep going for the ones that are sticking out, that are sticking up. Here, I mean, there's no rhyme or reason almost to what I'm doing here. One goes there. There's a space there. Some of these A-dots also are a little bit bigger because they're check, right? So that spot, well, that's giving me a little too much space. So I'm going to go through that bead, I guess. That's better. Then I'll go through this. There we go. And then this one. get to that over there. So close. I want a few of these blue ones. I want one of those bright blue ones there. I'm going to go through that one. And the bead is just really down on the bottom, right? The hole there is just sitting down on the table as I work my way around. So just put these guys in wherever you feel. Keep that tension. Breathe in, breathe out. We're almost there. Oops, I don't want to go through that one yet. You could also put some little 11s around this to add like a little bit of a ledge around here if you wanted. I go here. It looks like I need another one like over there, so I'm going to make my way to that spot. Let's put in a stripe. I'll just sit there, so let me put it. And I need, looks like I need about 2 more beads. That one. Maybe this just needs to be closed. Let me just stitch those. See what I got. Yeah, I think that's it. You could also, paint the bottoms of these, right? So no little bit of wood bead shows. I'm going to bring this all around here. Cinch it up. There's a little spot right there that needs a bead, so I'm going to put it in. But I'm going to kind of go around the perimeter here. I think that's it. Maybe one right there, if I can find a skinny one. There's one. Right there. Little slice. There it goes. Good. So now I'm just going to bring this thread back. I want to go through that bead though. I'm stubborn. There we go. And I'm just going to wind my thread back and forth. Back and forth. Until it's ready. And I can go either way. I think I want to go this way. I'm going to put my bead, my needle through there, and my needle through there. Okay. All right. So there it is. Right? That half right there. Yeah, and I like seeing the natural wood bead out of there too. So there we go. There it is. Whew. Whew. Yeah, it's fun to watch it take shape, right? I can't stop watching. I also just dropped oh, here it is. Okay. So there's that. Let me scoot back here. Take a breath. That was a little intense. I did not want to stop. But can you blame me? I mean, just look. Just look at her. I just love it. So we'll put that over there. Now, look at how nice it looks with those moss agate barrels from yesterday or Wednesday or whatever day it was. Really gorgeous. Love, love, love. Let me show you the small, this one that Emily's doing. Let me put Emily's piece that she's working on with the Esplanade. She's doing her bead crochet. Ooh, I'm sweating bullets over here for some reason. It looks so gorgeous. And I thought for just one fleeting moment, I'm like, I'm going to bead crochet. And then I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going to bead crochet. I'm going to do round peyote. So let me zoom in and let me tell you the particulars of this. What I did was I strung 10 beads in the round, okay, and tied a knot. And it's a little loose on this leather, but the leather just helps me hold on to it. And I'm probably going to leave the leather on the interior of this and then use one of these clasps like this for the end or something like that, right? It would look good. So I've just done, I did 10, tied it, and then I just started doing the rows 5 and 5, right? So let me do a couple of rows for you. And it's just peyote in the round, right? So I go through. Oh, I'm a little warm. It's probably because I didn't turn the AC on in here for some ridiculous reason. So, and the little round bit of peyote that I'm doing kind of twists around the leather. So I can just let it twist. Come over there. There we go. Yeah, you could use like the crystal beads and using variegated thread or whatever. Sure. You know, those of you, Kim, you were saying Emily's really cool piece with the clear, and then she's doing the different color threads, and that's what's lending the color. Here's my step down. So there it is. So that means I've completed a row. Now I'll do my next row. I really urge you to experiment. You know, peyote stitch is not such a huge time investment, right? Easy to set up. You just have to hang in there the first few rows, get the tension right, and then you'll be in good shape. So I'm just going to continue to peyote stitch this around, go in the round, like so, stitch. And then, you know, I could also just leave this like a bead. I don't have to do the whole thing, right? Yeah, these are actually LED lights, so they're not that hot. I think my brain was on like overdrive and it heated me up. And I don't have the air on in here. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. I had the door open and it was so nice, and I don't know, you know, I'll turn the air on after the broadcast. But it is cooling down, though next Monday, my friends, Fresno's heating up. I think they're going to be delivering our product in 100-degree weather. I think it's like I think we're in fake fall right now. There'll be one last blast. And of course, that's going to be Monday. But, you know, whatever, right? That's okay. Let me scoot back a little bit here. Yeah, the thread tension, you're always kind of working with the tension. Terry, and you won't really lose the tension, I don't think. You'll have trouble maybe the first few rows, but what I do is I automatically give it that little tug, and that kind of pulls everything tight with the last few stitches. So I think your hands just kind of get used to coming in and tightening that tension up. It's nice to have this round piece of leather to hang on to. I mean, you could do this round peyote stitch with nothing inside of it. I think Emily has used like straws or coffee stirrers as well. So if you did want this to be, hollow, it could be. So you can see here. Did Janice text you to turn on the air? Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness, Janice, you're hilarious. Thank you, Chris. Welcome. You folks are funny. Thank you, JP. You didn't have to do that. But Chris came right out. Team, there's my step up. I'll tell him you all are saying hi. He went back in. He's finishing some packaging on the earrings and some things for Emily, and be careful not to get the leather in there. We're always busy here at Bead Shop West. Now it's just Bead Shop HQ, I guess, right? I wonder if our inventory has crossed into California yet. Think good thoughts. Think good thoughts. At least the weather is good. It won't get bogged down in snow. And so that's it, my friends. That is it. And yeah, Emily agreed. And I didn't add any beeswax, and I should have. I can now. I've got some actually right here that I will do. The fire line really does keep this tension 100%. I'm just going to take this out of the needle. I'm just going to wax it right now. It does really help. Thanks for the reminder. Look at that. It's much more manageable too. I don't know why I forget. I just forget the beeswax sometimes. I don't know why. Especially when I'm on camera, because I can't always find it. Let me snip this end. And let me rethread that needle. That is a lot better with the air. There we go. Okay. So now, just keep going. And I'm just picking these up randomly. I don't mind if I'm using two of the same color in a row or whatever. It does not make one iota of difference. So there we go. And there's my step. Okay. So that's it. This is the fire line that I'm using. Let me, where did it go? I'm using 6 pound because that's what was sitting there. Let me make everything nice and clear here. I'm using a size 10 beading needle. I am using this 6 pound fire line, and there's the beeswax. The mix that I'm using is our latest, it's limited, Esplanade, the Esplanade mix. Janice's new one that she made to, this is our Stinson Beach that we had a while back that we sold out of. I mean, almost immediately, and Esplanade is going the same way. So if you like this Esplanade, it's the check 8/0. If you like it, grab it, because it's going to go the way of Stinson Beach for sure. And here is the beaded bead that I'm working on as well. So that makes a pretty picture. That's a good screenshot right there. Let me see if I can get that whole thing in there. We really appreciate everybody, all of your support for these mixes. They're a lot of fun. You know, Janice was auditioning a bunch of different mixes for this Stinson Beach mix when she made it. And she had some leftovers, and we were talking about, oh, you know, what are we going to do with those or whatever. And indeed, she put this one together, and I just think it's gorgeous. I love the name. I love Esplanade. Janice, that's great. We'll get some of the check colors and tubes for you. And yes, we'll get that chartreuse green for you as well. I think it's Terry that needs it. So there we go. Just continue on your merry way until this piece is long enough, and then put a clasp on it, or you can make it go together. See, like this one, I did an endless bangle. Here, I used one of those large hole beads, and I glued it inside there and added some little sliders on the top. But you can do either or. Make it a bangle like this, or something with a clasp. I agree, Teresa. I think that that turquoise bead really makes the mix. It's really a high contrast, and it's also a pretty high contrast. There's some matte beads and shiny beads in there as well. So really gorgeous. All right, my friends. Well, that does it for me for this Friday. Stay tuned to your newsletters on Bead Shop for this weekend. We've got some fun things happening for you in the newsletter. I will give you an update on Monday. Hopefully my hair will be a little less unruly by then. I'll give you an update on Monday. Stuff should be here. We're going to be putting up the rest of the racks and stuff. So I'll update you on how Kate Studio is becoming the fulfillment center as we go along. But we really hit it a lot yesterday. So I'm feeling a lot more calm, especially getting those updates about where all 1,500 pounds of our inventory is. So have a really fantastic and safe weekend, everybody. Add your thumbs up to this if you can. We really, really appreciate it. Hit that like notification button over on YouTube if you're watching live or on the replay. We really, really appreciate it because it helps to get all of this great beady goodness out to you out there. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you all soon. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.